everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. And today we are talking about Given, Episode 6, Creep. I can't help but think of Radiohead. Also, just as a heads up, I'm not going to be reading the comments on these, not just these videos, but any of my videos. For some reason, people have been spoiling shows in the comments. This happened the other day with Kanata no Astra. Like, somebody spoiled the entire ending of the plot for no given reason. And this has been like a thing that has happened, like not like consistently, but enough that I'm like, okay, I'm done. So if you see me not replying to comments in this video, sorry, I just don't want to get spoiled for the show. I don't want to get spoiled for any other show. I just want to let you know that ahead of time. But let's not get bummed out, because right now we have to give a shout out. We have to give many shout outs, actually. Holy cow. We have to give shout outs to the people who shared last week's Given video, namely Isabella Copi, Nacho Gashardo, 3 Karma 2000, Sassy Simone 125, and Morgan Romero. Thank you. You guys are super friggin' sweet. And if you would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Given video, then be sure to go ahead and share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much, and I will be sure to shout you out in next week's Given video. Also, should probably mention that even though I won't be checking comments on videos anymore, I will be here for premieres. I'm probably at the premiere for this video, and I am always available over on Twitter. I am almost always on Twitter. So if you still want to talk to me about a particular episode of Given or any show really, go ahead, check out my Twitter at JoJo Talks Too Much with the number 2 because my whole name didn't fit. But without further ado, we're going to get into this week's episode. And I gotta say, the follow-up scene at the beginning with Lil Miss Random, I was actually gonna attempt to remember her name, because at the very least, this girl did say, "I'm sorry, that was unnecessary." And I agree wholeheartedly, that was incredibly unnecessary. It is none of her business. So the fact that she was willing to apologize and actually point out that it was unnecessary and that she really only told them because she was trying to start a conversation, I can accept that to some degree, because I do get from her point of view, hearing that she may actually be concerned for him, but keep your nose out of my ship. that's just it. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. This girl interrupts my other the ship that I actually care about, but I welcome the challenge. You attempted to break up the boys. It didn't work. So now you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that you just made Yuenoyama feel like garbage for an entire episode, and it didn't really help you get the boy. So there you have it. I just say her name, and now I forget it. It starts with a K. Did I write it down? I wrote it down. Kasai? You know, Little Miss Random just rolls off the tongue more. You are forever Little Miss Random. I'm sorry, character. You are Little Miss Random till the end of days. Or at least until the end of me covering Given, which hopefully is not anytime soon. Hopefully the show gets a second season. But anyway, carrying on, we get another really solid conversation. I would argue this is probably my favorite conversation of the entire episode. And that's between Sato and Hiragi. Although I guess I should say Mafuyu, because we've been with this character long enough and everybody else calls him Mafuyu, so I guess I should just call him Mafuyu, but Sato is just what I've been calling him, so I'm going to continue to call him Sato. But Sato's conversation with his old friend Hiragi. Hiragi's that kid with like the sort of blondish hair. I think he has like either the top of his hair is blonde and then he has like sort of like brunette on the ends, or it's reversed. I don't remember. I know that he has blonde and brunette hair. And this character handled this scene way better than I thought he was going to, and it was so real and refreshingly like genuine. Because normally in this scene, like Hiragi should have, like in any other drama or really any other shonen ai or any type of even just romantic show in general, the old friend should have been like, "You abandoned us, like you left us for them," and rah. But no, he wasn't. He was just like, "Hey man, don't run, don't freak out, just come talk to me, okay?" And they sit down and he just says like, "Listen man, like I hear you're doing music now. That's really cool. I'm happy for you. And Sato even jokes with him, like, you're not going to criticize me, are you? He's like, no. Are you doing music because you want to, or are you doing music because you can't move on? And it's a criticism, so he was critiquing him, but at the same time, it's a genuine question. And he's only asking not because he's vindictive. He's asking because Sato's his friend. Despite everything that's happened, despite losing this shared loved one, to Hiragi, Sato is still his friend, even after all this time has passed. And it was just genuinely refreshing to have these two characters sit down and have a genuine conversation. And I like that we actually get confirmation that, yes, the guitar is actually, what is his name? Yuki's guitar. Yuki is the old character, I believe. And we also do find out that it was what we thought. Like, they were significantly interested in each other. According to Hiragi, both of their parents were pretty much on board with it, which is impressive. I don't know if maybe he was talking about just them playing music or them dating. I'm gonna hope it was them dating, because that's, again, really refreshing. But yeah, the conversation between Sato and Hiragi was really, really impressive. And I'm really interested to see Hiragi enter the show a little bit more. Maybe see him interact with Yuanoyama. I don't mind them doing maybe like a little bit of like, hey, you took my friend away type of thing. I don't mind that a little bit, but it can't get to like Hiyori levels of, oh no, you know what I'm talking about. You guys know me. I'm a free boy. If it gets to Hiyori levels of, hey, I'm just trying to look out for Sato, then yeah, I'm gonna be upset. But if it's just like, hey man, he's my friend, treat him well, I would love to see that scene between Hiragi and Yuanoyama, or really Hiragi and the rest of the band, since I'm assuming Hiragi's also in a band. There is another conversation we get in this episode that I wasn't as fond of. I don't necessarily dislike this conversation, I felt like the scene was sort of fumbled, or at least the writing was. And that's the conversation, ironically enough, the catalyst of like one of my favorite scenes in the show thus far, which I'm sure people are gonna be like, really? But the catalyst to get there, I wasn't as into it. And that's Haruki talking to Sato. And I get what they were going for. They wanted the scene to be like Sato making Haruki think of something he had never really thought of, and that would be Kaji disappearing, like Kaji dying, Kaji going away. And it really puts Haruki on his heels. But the conversation, the way it was worded, if you put different music over top and made it like suspenseful music, it would sound like Sato was threatening him. And I was like, ooh, I maybe would have worded this differently. The way it's worded, if I was Haruki, I'd be like, are you threatening me? Why are you mad at me? What's going on here? I get what they were going for. It's just I didn't enjoy the execution. However, what I did enjoy immensely is, and this is going to be the scene that everyone's like, really, that? And I'm sure, like, I was watching it going like, I'm positive people are going to be like, this is boring, or this is dumb, why are they doing this? But meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, yes, it's so good. And it's the scene of Sato soul searching. It's where it's just Sato wandering around, and he's in a daze, and he's just trying to figure out the lyrics, trying to figure out the words he wants to get across, not only just for himself, but for Yuki, for Yuanoyama, for the band. Sorry, as soon as I say for the band, I think of Stephen Stills from Scott Pilgrim. For the band, for the band, for the band, for the band. Anyway, this scene, it really does go on for an extended period of time, to the point where we actually, I believe, have two different scenes that cut in between this scene of Sato just wandering around in the streets, just going from like his the more suburban area to the city area to the beach. It really, like, he really goes like far. Like, he goes on the train, he goes on the bus, like he really goes out there trying to find the words. You can tell he's really, really trying to think. They get across how intently he is trying to find these words, not through dialogue, through visuals, which I really friggin' appreciated. And speaking of the visuals, does Lurch watch these videos? Do they watch these videos? I have to ask, and I only ask, I'm not being conceited here. I know they don't, but part of me wonders if maybe they do. because if you've been watching, you'll know that one of my, in my opinion, one of something that I find to be Given's biggest strength is the background art. And that scene was just background art porn. Like, just straight up, it was just nothing but these beautifully done background designs and background art, and it's so good. And it just, the fact that they would go to this length to like flesh out this city and the way it looks and the way it feels, and it really does have this sort of like, it perfectly fits the mood that this show is going for. So not only do the characters fit the mood, but the setting itself fits this atmosphere that they have built of like just sort of trying to find your voice, trying to find the people who match you, this sort of calm but also sort of melancholic feel that the show has. And it's so perfectly done in the background art, and the background art in that scene is flawless. The fact that it's basically just probably 3 to 4 minutes of Sato just walking around in the beautiful background art that is Given. Of course I was gonna love that. Also, we get the doggo again. We haven't seen the doggo in a while. I was happy to see the doggo. On that note though, everybody, I would be pretty content giving this week's episode an A-. I really enjoyed it, and of course I loved the background art, but you probably already guessed that. Before we go though, I do have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Nye, Omnigaramond, Opinionated Slime, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Tristan, and Veridin. Thank you for your continued support over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the ranks of the T Squadron, then be sure to go ahead and check out the first link in the description. Check out the Patreon page and all the cool rewards you can get over there, including our Patreon-only Discord. That would be super rad of you. But that is gonna do it for today's episode of Given. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy today's video, then you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't gonna tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated, and if you're feeling stressed out today, you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.